Okay, kids, it is December. It is the first Friday of December, which means it's you time. And the classroom is set up for Christmas. It is the Christmas season. And we're going to start with one song today before we have our chapel thought. And it's a song you know. Jesus' love is a bubbling over. All right, so here we go. Jesus' love is a bubbling over. Jesus' love is a bubbling over. Jesus' love is a bubbling over. Hallelujah. Love is a bubbling over. Love is a bubbling over. Love is a bubbling over. Hallelujah. Bubbling over. Bubbling over. Bubbling over. Hallelujah. Shh over. Shh over. Shh over. Hallelujah. Shh. Woo. Shh. Woo. Hallelujah. A bubbling, a bubbling, a bubbling over. A bubbling, a bubbling, a bubbling over. A bubbling, a bubbling, a bubbling over. Hallelujah. All right. So we are now going to be having our thought for chapel. You'll notice that the outfit is different because I've been filming this over a week. But hopefully all of this comes together for a thought that helps you become closer to God this week. All right. Let's move on to the next part of the section. Hi everyone. Thanks for joining me right here with this illustration. And as you can see, I have 3 drinking cups in front of me. One is more of a container, but it actually is called a mug. And this is a mug, and I guess this would be a cup. But as you look at all 3, I'd like you to think about the value that each one has. And which one do you think has the greatest value? If you look at this one, it's sturdy and strong. I use it maybe 2 or 3 times a week. It's very useful. I heat up food in the microwave in another dish and then pour it in here, and then it keeps it nice and warm so that I have something to eat every day. It gives me daily sustenance. This is special because I got this when I was married, and I love it because of its colors and the floral pattern on it. It's very pretty. And it's great for when I'm not feeling well, and I'll heat up water and put in something warm to drink and feel a lot better then. So it has a great use there. And last of all is this one. This is fine china, and this was made in Japan. This was passed down from my mother. When my mother got married, this is what she had in her home, a set of this fine china. Now I only have one of these. I don't have the whole set. And I don't use this because it's so beautiful and delicate. I don't want to break it. But it has sentimental value, and it's beautiful, as you can see. And so it brings joy just looking at it. As you look at these 3, which one do you think has the greatest value? Cup number 1, number 2, or number 3 at this very point in time? Which one has the greatest value? Some of you might say this one. Some of you might say this one. Some of you might say this one. Let me tell you, for me, which one has the greatest value for me? It's actually this one. It's not pretty. It's not an heirloom. It's not passed down. But every day it gives me something that I need, sustenance and food, and I depend on it so that it fills the hungry spots in me. And all these are wonderful. It's nothing like this. Dependable, sturdy. I can always rely on this to give me what I need. And so if I were to say which one has the greatest value, I would pick this one. All right, so now as we think about this, let's turn it into a type of a lesson. And if I were to go to scripture, right here, 2 Timothy 2:20-21, it says, in a large house, there are articles not only of gold and silver, but also of wood and clay. Some are for special purposes, and some are for common use. Those who cleanse themselves from the latter will be instruments for special purposes, made holy, useful to the master, and prepared to do any good work. Now, I think there's a lot of ways that you could interpret what that verse means. But for me, the way I look at it is that it's not about the beauty on the outside. That does not determine the value. The value is, what does it do? How does it serve? What is its purpose? And that is the lesson for you as a human being. So we have to not be concerned about our outsides. How do we look? Are we beautiful? Do we look like everybody else? Do we fit in? That's not what's so important. As far as, are we dependable? Are we usable by God? Are we serving others and filling the needs that they might have? And in that way, you become of great value, like a $20 bill. And this is something then that makes you stand out in God's eyes, being of service to Him. So I'd like you to think about that lesson today, and moving on to the next illustration. All right. Our first illustration for today has to do with these 3 cups. You'll see when you look at each cup, it is identical to the other. All 3 cups look the same on the inside and the outside. There's no difference if I were to look at them. But if I take this gold ornament and I put it inside one of the cups, it is different. But from looking on the outside, can you tell which cup has the gold ornament? Oh, well, of course, that's easy. It's the one you just saw me put it in. But what if I mixed it up? Okay, you ready? I'm going to mix them up. And let's see if you can figure out which one has the gold ornament in it. Ready? Which cup has the gold ornament in it? Can you tell from the outside which one it is? Go ahead. Which one? Is it cup number 1, cup number 2, or cup number 3? What? What'd you say? Oh, okay, well, let's find out. Cup number, let's take the middle one, 2. Oh, cup number 1. Oh, you were right. If you chose cup number 1, very good for you. Excellent. But you know, just as a normal, looking at it, you wouldn't know which one has that golden ornament. All right, I'd like you to think about that for a little bit. all looking the same on the outside, which one has the ornament of gold on the inside? What does that have to do with our illustrations or our story or our lesson? That's what I should say, our lesson for today. So with our second illustration, what was the purpose of all of that? Our 3 cups, they all look the same on the outside, but one with great value hidden on the inside, a gold ornament. Well, let me bring to you this verse and let's see if you can figure this out. For our second illustration, this scripture says, well, it's Romans 12:2. Do not be conformed to this world, but be transformed by the renewal of your mind, that by testing you may know what is the will of God, what is good and acceptable and perfect. You know, if you look at these 3 cups, they all look the same. They look alike. It's hard to tell one apart from the other. Do we ever do that in the world today? Do we try so hard to look like everybody else, to have what they have, to dress like they dress, to play what they play, whatever it may be? Is it important to fit in so much that we end up looking just like them? Or do you purposely try to stand out? Stand out in a good, clean, pure way, in a way that shows that you have a heart of gold, that you have so much value that comes from being God's child. And how do you look different, and how do you share that with others around you? So among the 2 illustrations that you've seen today, I think what you want to come away with these illustrations of the cups and the mugs is that 1, it's not the outside that matters. 2, it's the inside that matters. What are you doing for God? How are you serving them? How do you use your time, your gifts, your talents, and what you're able to do? And don't spend so much time worrying about what the world thinks about you or what your friends think. Most important thing is to think about, what does God think about you? And every day, give your life to Him, dedicate it to Him, and see how you can serve Him for that day. Be a useful vessel for God. That's it. All right. I hope you enjoyed that. Have a wonderful Christmas season. Bye.